everybody, welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead and welcome to my shed. Trying to ignore all of the busyness and chaos going on here behind me. We are going to talk about this. So you brought home a box of baby chicks, right? Egg prices are high. You're ready to start your own flock, and so you went down to your local store and you picked up a box of baby chicks. And now you need to know what to do with them, and that is what I'm going to tell you. I am going to get you up close and personal, but really quick, I'm going to tell you the supplies that you're going to need. You are going to need something to contain them. I am using a trough. This is great because I can use it as a planter later or use it for storage if I'm going to do this again next year. You're going to need a heat source. You can use a heat lamp, you can use a heat mat of some kind. I'm not using the heat mat. I have like a vegetable, tray heat mat, and that's not the kind that you want to use for this. So I'm not going to tell you like every single thing you can use. I'm just going to give you a quick how-to if you just came home with your chickens and you're like, what do I do? You might be able to hear them in the background, and you will get to see the baby chicks today too. You're going to need a container for food and a container for water. Make sure they're clean, you guys. I'm sure that goes without saying. I had these in a bin and they were full of cobwebs, so I got them nice and clean. You're going to need chick crumble. I have a huge bag of it because we have chicks every year, so that's what this is chick crumble, whatever kind you like. And a little packet of electrolytes for their water. You'll also need something to put down on the bottom of your brooder. This trough is going to be called a brooder, and I'm using that verbiage on purpose because when you go online or you go to the store and you're like, I need something to put my chickens in, brooder, chicken brooder is the word or words that you're going to look for to do your search. So here I have some pine shavings. You can use straw, you can use newspaper even if you wanted to. You don't have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it, but the most important thing is that they have a safe enclosure, they have clean bedding, and clean food and water, as well as some heat. If your chicks are a day old or a week old, you're going to need to keep your brooder at about 93-ish degrees, so between 90 and 95 degrees. Every week as they get older, you will move your heat source further away to drop the temperature by about 5 degrees each week until you're at your ambient temperature outside, or whatever, the chicken's comfort zone is like between 50 and 70 degrees. Once they're fully feathered. So that can take up to 12 weeks. Be prepared to have your chickens inside for a maximum of 12 weeks before you either integrate them into your flock or put them outside. Maybe later we'll talk about why I'm doing this, but for those of you who clicked on this video because you just want to see like how do I get my baby chicks safe, I'm going to go ahead and cover that first, and stay tuned to the end if you want to hear my story about why I'm even doing this. One of the things I wanted to show you is this little strip. It's a thermometer. I'm going to put it down toward the bottom of the trough here, and it will keep track of the temperature so I know when it, do I need to, raise this up now? Does it need to go lower so that the temperature is appropriate for the chicks at their age? You can use any kind of thermometer you want, or you could just come in and test it once a day. You can buy these strips for super cheap online, and they just have a sticker on the back and they'll peel right off without leaving any gross residue. Let's look at the baby chicks and let's get you up close, and I will go ahead and set up this brooder with you today. Here is my box of baby chicks. They're very cute. They will hop out of here, so I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek. So there we go. I know you can't see them very well because it's dark in the box, and they're getting kind of cold too. You don't want to leave your baby chicks in their box for like more than really an hour or so. Here is an up close of the thermometer. These are the pine shavings that I'll be using. I know that's upside down. There we go. Is that a little bit better? Here's an up close, watch your eyeballs everybody, of my trough. It's a 2x2x4. And there's the heat lamp. That is a 250 watt heat lamp. And so it's the one with the red on the top in case you're wondering which bulb to purchase. And over here we have the electrolyte for the chicks and the chick crumble. And then this one here, I have it upside down because it's filled full of water. We're going to put the electrolyte in it. And this one here is for the food. I think the first thing we'll do is get the pine shavings into the bottom of this trough. While I'm getting the pine shavings in, I'm going to go ahead and unplug my heat lamp because the pine shavings are flammable and we do not want to start a fire before we even get started. So turn your heat lamp off and then put your pine shavings in. There's instructions on the box of the light, I think. If not, I'll just tell you. Make sure you keep the light at least 20 inches away from anything that's flammable, including the pine shavings. Okay, that looks pretty good. You don't want the litter on the bottom to be too deep because the baby chicks are still really little. Let's go ahead and turn the heat lamp back on and then we will put the baby chicks in and give them their food and water. Let's do the water first. This is nice, cool, fresh water. And we don't have to put the entire packet in because one packet is for a gallon of water. Okay, and then we'll save that so we can add it in tomorrow with their water change. Okay, and we'll just give that a little swirl. Let that dissolve in for a few minutes and we'll get the food in. And I'm just going to put this chick crumble into this cup and I am surely going to make a bit of a mess. I should have gotten like a scooper or something. All right, there we go. I know it looks like it's empty, but it's right here by the surface so they can get in there and grab it. I might need to change the bottom out on the water. I have some bottoms like this, but they're more of like a trough to get in. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I have one of those bottoms in this room, but I definitely do have them in another location. So let's just see what happens here. Okay, that was pretty funny. I mean, it kind of looks like this is the first time I've ever freaking done this. How embarrassing. All right, I got the proper bottom. You can see that there's a lip here that protects the fluid from going all over the floor. And there's a tiny little hole here that mets out the water evenly and appropriately. Make sure you get the right bottom for your water. And we'll try this one more time. Give it a little shake. And then when you turn it over, it does not spill all over the place. It just very nicely goes right into the trough here for them. Now for the fun part. Let's put everything into the brooder and get the baby chicks out and see how they're holding up. And say hello to the baby chick. Hello, baby chick. And there we go. There's our baby chicks. I'll get you up close so you can see them. Some of them are the same color as the bedding, so you can't see them very well. The girls have found the food and water, and they're not too cold. They're not huddled under the heat lamp, so they're feeling really comfortable in here, and they're getting happy. You're going to want to check your chicks a couple times a day. They will kick the shavings into the water, which will make it difficult to drink. So check on your chicks a couple times a day. Make sure they're happy. Make sure their food and water is clean and accessible. And clean the poop out. Replace the shavings as needed. Another big tip for you is probably a couple weeks from now, these girls will start to be able to fly, and they'll be able to get out of this trough. And so you're going to want to put something over the top, something that allows airflow, of course, just something to keep them from flying out, because they can get out, but getting back in will be a lot more difficult. And that is how you set up your brooder. Thank you for watching that. For those of you who follow me and you want to know why I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you that now. We do have a pretty good sized flock, but a couple things have happened. One thing is we've had some older hens, very old hens that have lived out their life, and they died of natural causes. They weren't laying anymore, and nor were they going broody anymore, but they were part of our flock, and we loved them. We just let them, live their best life, and they died of natural causes. So we've lost, they were all the same age, this group that passed away. So I think we lost like 4 hens over the last couple years. And it was time to get some more. And normally how we would do that is a broody hen would sit on her eggs and she would hatch them up. And last year we only had 1 broody hen. Normally we have 2 or 3. We only had 1 broody hen, and she ended up only having 1 baby chick. And it was a hen, thankfully. For those 2 reasons, it was time to bring in some new blood. Also, our flock is a little bit inbred at this point. Since the older girls had passed away, there's just not as much variety in the flock. And I think I've got 10 chicks in here, 7 different varieties. And I think that's going to bring some beautiful genetics to our flock, and it's just going to be very interesting. I'm pretty excited about it. And baby chicks are cute, and this is really not difficult to do. In a couple months, I will integrate them into the main flock by putting them in a protected box inside the coop. for a couple of weeks to let the grown hens keep an eye on them, check them out, get to know them a little bit without the ability for them to actually peck them or hurt them. I'll wait until they're big enough to defend themselves before fully letting them free. And then I'll keep an eye on them after that as well, because we do have some aggressive hens. They're not mean or dangerous or anything, but they're bossy, and I've seen them be bossy with other new chickens that come into the flock, you know, but they had a mom. And these don't have a mom to protect them from aggressive hens. And so that will be my job. And part of that job is not releasing them fully into the flock until they are ready. I may come back and show you a video about that. But for today, I just wanted to get you started. I know a lot of you are out there picking up your baby chicks this week, and I want to make sure you know everything that you need to pick up. What you see here, it can be a little bit expensive. The trough was $150. Everything else was pretty reasonable. The chicks were between $4 and $6 a piece. The shavings are really reasonable, but with the food and the electrolytes and all of that, it can add up. Many places will continue to sell baby chicks until August, and then sometimes there's a secondary shipment that comes in October. I'm hoping one of my favorite stores usually has Orpingtons in October, and I'm hoping to do this again in the fall and get some Orpingtons back into the flock, because those are my favorite. Well, I have a couple favorites, but Orpingtons are one of my very favorite hens. They're just very gentle and they're great moms. So I want to get some more, but the ones that I had passed away from old age. And I think that is it for today. There might be a lot of questions that you have, so please leave them down in the comments. I get back to everybody no matter what. I will have an answer for you, even if the answer is I'm not sure. Time for me to hop out into the garden, but I will be seeing you soon. Bye!